Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to HitScan, and welcome to Act 3. It's out today, the Battle Pass, the
Woo!
new map, Icebox. It's
Act
all going
3.
to be at least coming online over the next 24 hours or so. There are a couple of caveats and stuff that Riot did want to let us know, but let's start with what is in this first patch, starting with the new map, Icebox, and all of the details around it.
Yeah, so Icebox new maps being added. It will not be in competitive to begin with. It will be only in unrated and, well, I guess the other modes too, but basically not in the competitive queue. That will happen on October 27th. So Icebox not available in competitive, and it's worth noting when this patch goes live, it will probably not have competitive activated at all to begin with for any map, so you can't queue it at all, just because they're looking into patch stability and things like that. But after that, you will be able to play competitive. Icebox will just not be in that competitive queue until October 27th. Downtime might be a little bit longer as well, but it will start at about 6 AM PT for the NA, Brazil and Latin America region, and it'll be back up at about 9 to 10 AM PT later on. So for us Europeans, unfortunately, we're getting it super late. We don't know exactly when, but don't expect to be playing any of the patch tonight, really. Expect to be playing that on Wednesday, hopefully when it's all stable and released in the EU. Sometimes it's a little bit late on the Wednesday. I wouldn't expect the EU patch to be live at all tonight. Should probably be about tomorrow morning. Other than that, not too many other map updates, some tweaks that have happened to Icebox over time, but also on Ascent and Bind, the vision cone's accuracy has been improved for both of those maps. So some of the places here and there actually had some, I guess, just inaccuracies in what it looked like on the minimap and such, and that's now been fixed. It was on Reddit, that's why I wanted to just mention it right here, because yeah, that was on Reddit, someone looking down a long sight line with an operator and that not showing up on the minimap. So that's been fixed. If you had a teammate that you weren't sure if they were covering that angle or not, now you should know for sure.
Now there is some competitive updates as well as this. There's something about the Act Rank badge that I do want to mention towards the end of this video because I'm a little bit concerned about it. But remember that we had that ranked update a couple of weeks ago now, where you can now select your preferred servers to play on, increasing the chance that you will play on the server that you want. Obviously a big deal for you guys in North America, but also much better for us in EU to avoid certain regions that just can't talk in game, right? So it's no fault of their own in the CIS region, unfortunately, but if you could get around that, then you're just going to have better competitive games, in inverted commas. They've also tightened the competitive matchmaking to reduce skill disparity. If you're still confused about this, let's use the example on screen. Let's say that you are Diamond 3. The highest rank that you should be able to queue with and play up against would be Immortal 3. The lowest rank that you should be playing up against would be Platinum 3. So you shouldn't have Radiance in your game, you shouldn't have any low Platinum or even Gold players in. So the range of ranks is still relatively high. It's 6 from your lowest to your highest, but it used to be 12 from lowest to highest, so it should be a lot more straightforward. You should have more consistent games, but do bear in mind for stuff like Gold, Platinum, and even Diamond, a lot of players in there from various backgrounds, various skills, so it's still going to be inconsistent, which I think is still probably the biggest problem that Ranked has at the moment. Very much a time cost, but tell me which competitive shooter doesn't have that. But certainly for Immortal and Radiant, this should reduce the chance of getting a Rogue, Diamond, or even Platinum in your game, in some cases if you're playing in Immortal. Also, if you are in Immortal, you don't need to worry about individual performance. This will only be impacted by winning or losing and the decisiveness of your game's outcome. If you win 13-0, you're going to get a lot more points, even if you bottom frag. We're testing and monitoring this change, says Riot in Act 3, for potential future implementation in all ranks, and I really do hope they go in this direction.
Yeah, for sure. And moving on from that, we have, well, some more interesting changes to Deathmatch mode, exactly. We haven't really covered this before. I don't think it's been talked about too much, but they have mentioned that they're going to kind of update and improve all the game modes over time. There's also been some rumors of some other game modes being in the works, so maybe this is just a sort of big Deathmatch update before the next patch brings some new cool game mode. Hopefully, that would be really interesting. Riot, maybe, please. Deathmatch, though, has had its player count increased from 10 to 14. So the updated spawning algorithm as well is there to kind of encourage safer spawns. There's a bit of a dev comment on this, but I'm not going to read it right here because it's quite lengthy. And all in all, better spawning locations sounds great, especially with 14 players as well. They've removed the periodic location pulls, and you'll only receive a pulse right when you respawn now. So this is just to have people not just look at the minimap the whole time.
It's so good. I'm just so happy with this. Like, I think these are like the common complaints for Deathmatch, and they've solved pretty much every single one of them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with 14 players as well, just really good change that I think will help that a lot more too. It'll feel like you get into it and it's not like one of those who's holding shift and being annoying type of matches where you're just, you know, waiting around a corner and waiting for people to run at you. It'll be much more of just a Counter-Strike feel to that, I guess. The increased match length as well is there to 40 kills now instead of the previous 30. The time limit has been upped to 9 minutes and was previously 6. Really nice. I do feel like that was quite needed. Just a bit too many games went to like kind of timing out instead of actually reaching the kill goal. But on top of that, just having a little bit more time in them instead of just spending a lot of time outside of the deathmatch when you're queuing for it and just having to be thrown out and back in. All in all, good stuff. Kill reloads. On every kill, player gets an automatic, immediate full reload of their active weapon. This is great, and the dev comment reads, it already felt a little frustrating to have to reload in deathmatch, and now the player count is higher, reloading feels like even more of a death wish. So all in all, really love that. Ares and Odin only get 30 bullets back though, so you don't get really the full 100 there. Yeah, thank God. And the XP gain, this is one of the best parts in my opinion as well, has been increased from 500 to 900. So this means if you want to play deathmatch, they should now be better overall. You should have some better games, you should spend more time in the match versus just queuing for one, and you get a bit more XP. And that is scaled pretty nicely as well, with the kills being up from 30 to 40, but the XP being up from 500 to 900, really good. I think that's just all in all, makes it a bit more viable to just sit there and just chill out, maybe with some music in the background, and just, you know, play some deathmatch for an hour or two. Sounds fun. That's the sort of thing a lot of people do in Counter-Strike, so looking forward to doing that in Valorant. And just all in all, I feel way more motivated to get into Deathmatch more now, because I've not found myself playing it that much the past couple of weeks or so.
I've been playing it a lot more recently, and I do think it's ironic really that the best form of Deathmatch is the warm-up period, because when you die you instantly respawn and the kill feed doesn't really matter at all, you know what I mean? Like, it's actually legit practice. But this is a lot better. You should be finding yourself in more aim duels. You're not going to have too many awkward spawns, which was a big problem, as people would just DC because they only got 2 kills and died 20 times, and then they just leave. So yeah, this should be better practice. There are a few quality of life things, certainly when it comes to observing. You can actually get 12 observers in the game now, because, oh my god, we've been waiting years for that, it feels. So like, that should mean more observers for first strike. It should mean that you can actually have more people watching the games, because only 2 observers for this long, Misko, was pretty ridiculous when you look back at it. But you also get like team colored for pings, so you know that the attacking team is pinging to go to a certain part of the map. You can see ult timers on ultimates like Rain and Phoenix. Some really cool stuff, as well as some social updates that make it so you can add friend notes, much like you can in League of Legends, and both of those transfer over as well if you do play both games. There's not any balance changes in here when it comes to guns or agents.
Wait, hang on though. Quality of life stuff. Listen to this. Requested guns can now be sold back to the shop. Doing so will refund the player who fulfilled the requests. That's so good.
That's like the most quality of life change that you can ever have.
Yeah, oh my god, I can't believe it's actually taken this long to get that change. But it's the sort of thing I guess you kind of forget about until it's a problem in one match, and then when you've made that mistake or had that happen, you just don't do it again for like the whole day, so you forget about it kind of.
But yeah, no balance changes for agents in this patch. I would assume that they would come with Sky in 2 weeks' time. So there's probably going to be a lot of stuff there. Still an awesome patch when you have the new map and the new battle pass and just a new season. There's a lot of stuff in here. But there is one thing about the Act Rank badges that kind of concerned me before we get to Act 3. It might not be too much of an issue, but of course, like you've seen on screen, it is a badge of a rank of your 9th best ranked win. Now, if you've sort of not really played too much competitive and you've actually climbed quite a lot, you've won a lot of games, your 9th best ranked win is going to be a couple of ranks below at least where you belong, right? So we have this problem a lot in Overwatch, right? Where people will look at your career to see that you were, I don't know, gold in season 3, and we're on like season 23 now. And then they'll be like, oh, you were gold, you're trash, why are you in Masters or GM? So I'm a little bit concerned seeing that you have your not even best rank plastered everywhere. I don't think it's going to do much when it comes to helping people not get angry at each other, when they can just sort of see your image and see that you were gold last season and now you're an immortal. People are going to pick up on that, and I think they're going to be pretty mean about it if you don't do well. That's my concern, at least.
I totally agree. I think it's the sort of thing that before that was just, I mean, it was pretty good to just not know. I think the only part where that is really a problem, though, I guess, is the whole like competitive lobbies and map load part, because, or mostly just the map load, because I guess the competitive lobby is just with whoever you're queuing with, right? But the map load, seeing it before the game, that's kind of the issue, because you're not gonna see it during the game. Wait, it says in-game combat report as well. Wait, what? Okay, yeah.
They should see it after.
Yeah, end of game is fine.
Like, I think this is a thing that Dead by Daylight does. Like, Dead by Daylight do a really good job. They don't tell you anything about the players. Then at the end of the game, they go, this is a rank 2 killer, or this is like a rank 3 survivor, right? Like, if you found that out before, that immediately change. If you're going up against a rank 1 killer, you're going to be like, oh shit, what the hell am I going to do? Like, you start panicking, and you see that you're the highest rank and everybody else is super low. You're just going to get mad at your team if they make mistakes. So I am very concerned about this, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see a U-turn very quickly, because Counter-Strike can be very toxic on stuff like this, and even then, they don't quite have that information of what your rank is, so...
No, they don't show it, which is why I'm surprised about the map load and in-game combat report. Like, what's that all about? Like, why
that's just asking for it, I swear.
Yeah, I feel like that's just asking for trouble, especially in-game combat reports. So what, it shows the enemies' ranks there? Or what? Like, because you only see the enemy in the combat report, really. I don't know. That feels super weird. Well, we'll see how that works out, but yeah, prepare for toxicity, I guess.
Which is a shame.
That already.
Because there's a lot of really good competitive changes in here. I've been playing a lot of it more. I think that's just because there's not been much esports going on at the moment, and we're getting towards the colder season. And to be honest, who's going anywhere at the moment anyway? But yeah, this patch is pretty good. Surprising that it's good considering there is no balance changes in here. But the changes to Deathmatch, competitive, Icebox is a great map that I'm sure that people are going to really enjoy. Of course, you're going to be playing that a lot in unrated because there's going to be a preference for it. So you're going to hate it in 2 weeks' time when it goes into competitive, much like Ascent was the case for us when the game came out. So exciting stuff. We'll let you know if there's any other news and changes throughout the week. But that's it for this time. Take care. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.